You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake. Plus you're fake, I can tell while I'm hotter than hell. Fuck Microsoft Word.
All right, good go.
All right, sup, Jews? Welcome back to the show. Back to the show. This is a new episode.
Yeah.
Like,
We will never quite get over that cognitive hiccup where we do 2 episodes back to back usually,
yeah,
but they're filmed a week apart.
yeah.
It's a little too hard. You know, it's almost like walking and chewing bubble gum,
Yeah.
you know.
What?
Actually, I'm pretty
That's
good
a
at that.
that's a really easy.
Also, I could do this.
Yeah, I can do that.
George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson. I won't do all.
You can already tell that the energy of this one's going to be very different from the previous episode.
Yeah. You know what's funny too? We were, because like off mic, I was, telling Alex about my illness that we talked about on the previous episode.
Yeah.
And we were vibing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I'm feeling good. Let's just go right into the next episode.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, the levels have to be okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I guess just let us know when we're ready.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, I was like, thinking about what I'm going to watch when I go home. And now I'm out of it.
What are you thinking you're going to watch?
I've been on a 30 Rock kick lately.
It's a great show.
The writing on that
Unbelievable
show, I will say, and it pains me to say it because Tina Fey is a woman, but anything she touches turns to gold. She's the Midas of.
Did you watch Kimmy Schmidt?
Yes, I finished that with my GF.
Yeah.
We watched Kimmy Schmidt together.
That was great. That's a really good.
Now, can I ask you, there is a movie, like a post-series movie, that's a choose-your-own adventure that was on Netflix that Netflix then pulled and you can't get it anywhere.
For that show?
Yeah, you got to like,
really?
Like those books as a kid.
I know they did it they had a Black Mirror episode that was like that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Black Mirror. I would watch it like a couple episodes. And you know what's weird though, is that I would be like, wow, this is definitely, because the whole, if you've never watched the show, it's like, I would say it's all like dystopian.
It's all dystopian, yeah.
Technological dystopia.
Yeah, that's the basic premise of it.
But it's never like at the end, this worked out. This new technology has made this work out. It's always like, we're fucked.
Because it's not a fun story about like an actual utopia where things work. There's no conflict.
But I would watch it because I watched it close to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think when I was in my late 20s. And I would think like, wow, that's probably something crazy that like the next generation will experience.
Yeah.
But now with like things progressing, to me, I can't believe how fast things are progressing. And I think I would watch a Black Mirror episode and be like, that's something that could happen within the next few years.
Yeah.
Like I thought of you the other day when we were talking about ChatGPT.
Oh.
Yeah. I usually text with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it was because I was drinking coffee at the same time.
Ah.
Very interesting. But I was like, I'm gonna talk to it.
Yeah.
And they do that fucking.
Yeah.
They think like an actual person.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the woman's voice going, that's really insightful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see how that would, if you had a screw loose or two.
I could see falling in love with her, and if she tells me to kill doing it, yeah. Very, very easily. See
Google Gemini, I will say, they talk like a robot.
I think you need that. I think we need it as a hard rule for ourselves.
Okay.
That all AI and robots have to talk like staccato robots.
To keep us from getting like.
So that we know that, so we never forget the fact that they're robots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe.
You don't, because then if it says like, you are perfect as you are, you won't like fall in love with it. It'll just be like, all right, whatever. Cool.
And listen, if you internalize you're perfect as you are, that's great. If you internalize, ivermectin is the only thing you could take.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never taken ivermectin.
No reason to.
There was that little period, that like transition period where I was like, I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says, but he's entertaining.
Yeah.
To like, okay, this is like, it's a little too much. There's this episode with him and Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
And Bobby Lee's a silly goose.
Yep.
And every time Bobby Lee tries to be a silly goose, Joe Rogan's like, you can't do anything in California anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe, but
Yeah.
I saw this funny thing on television the other day. Television. Listen to me.
Television.
I don't know. I'm so rude. I talked about my holiday woes. I didn't ask you how your holiday was. I mean, You don't celebrate Christmas?
Not really. No,
Uh-huh.
my wife has like traditions that she likes, but you know,
Mhm.
it's not really a celebration. You're just enjoying the vibe of the time in
Yeah.
general. Like that is what the celebration is.
I will say, like, because I was sick, like in my apartment. I didn't see my family because I didn't want them to get sick because I had this weird flu thing, and I did. You know, I'm like a go type person with my projects, so it was nice to be like, no, it's literally Christmas.
Yeah.
No one is gonna see your email,
Yeah,
and it was nice to just relax. So even
Yeah.
taking out the presents and the family.
yeah,
Just to be like, no, there's like literally, it's irresponsible for you to do anything.
yeah.
Which I don't feel that way on Sunday, even.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's the Lord's Day.
Yes.
But do your family have any, like, your immediate family have any traditions that you do around the holiday season?
No, growing up we used to have a Christmas tree growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and we put up like garland, like the decorative stuff about Christmas is nice. We like that stuff.
So, for those just joining us, Ilya is a Ashkenazi Jew,
Yes,
right? I don't know. Ashkenazi doesn't matter. But,
kind of matters.
but your parents aren't religious at all.
No, no.
So no Hanukkah stuff at all.
No,
No,
we have menorah. I don't know if we never like did it like the correct way, like lighting every night. Maybe we did. We had menorahs, but
Mhm.
like, we didn't say prayers or whatever the stuff that you say. But it was more the accoutrement of the religion
Yeah.
that we had.
Yeah. The vibe, like you said.
Yeah,
But you also had a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's a level of secularism that I think is like you're on the furthest end of being secular.
well, that's the best thing about secularism is like, you can pick and choose which aspect of religion you like. Like maybe you like hymnal music or something,
Mhm.
or like community. Like there's aspects to it that are fine, and you can do it without having to take all the shitty baggage.
See, to me, like I feel like even though I'm not a Hindu, I would love my wife's body to be thrown on me
Yeah,
when my
you-
corpse is on fire.
Yeah, and that's just because you're a romantic at heart.
Yeah.
And,
You know what actually made me laugh as a child? I was watching Premium Blend Dating Myself, but
Yeah.
Comedy Central, right? And they have these little like 15-minute vignettes of like mostly comics that I'm sure like we've since never heard of. But there was a guy, he had a bit. If anyone could find, let me know in the comments if you know who did this bit. Because I remember as a preteen laughing my ass off. He was like, some cultures have figured it out better than us. You know, that's why you got to respect other cultures. Because like women, to designate whether or not they're married, they put a ring on one of their fingers on their left hand. That's confusing. Indian women, Hindus, dot on the forehead. Much simpler. Especially if you're at a club, you know, oh, where's her hand? Oh, there's her forehead right there.
okay,
I mean, I'm sure I butchered it.
is that what the bindi is for?
I think Hindus do the dot. Yeah, I think once you're married, they're like, hey, not this one. You know, dibs. It's calling dibs, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that's. I don't know about that.
You know,
Alex, you're gonna have to look this one up.
I was going to say Alex is here, so he could agree with me if he would like. Or I guess he could Google it.
I'm
If you-
Googling it.
He's
All right.
Googling it.
Nothing funnier than an Australian saying the word Google.
Do you know what I like about Australians is I feel like they're our cousin in a lot of ways. They're like if you took an American and made him likable. I feel like that's
yeah.
what an Australian is.
People love America. Everyone worships us. We're the best.
I feel like it's a you either love or hate situation. No one's ambivalent about America.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It symbolizes a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes marital status, sometimes wisdom. Yeah.
Imagine getting married and then they're like, no, keep the dot off of her. She's dumb as shit. And guys, let me know if I have to cut my toenails too. Elia said this is gross and I'm starting to agree with him. You know?
Yeah.
Is that a Rock'em Sock'em t-shirt?
It's the album cover, but yes, that's what it's based on.
What's the
Rockers album.
band?
It's a band called Sloppy Seconds.
Ooh, punk rock?
Yep.
Yeah, you're a punk rock guy.
I'm punk rock. I'm
I
pretty
was
cool.
listening to the Vandals on the way over here.
Nice. I'm really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hip hop in mid-teens, and
Yeah.
yes, I was full Malibu's Most Wanted.
Really.
You would have loved, you know what I'm saying? But then I guess as I got older, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not an identity you could have. Cause You know what's weird? As a teen, I couldn't be like, I like this music. I had to be like, and this is also like who I am. So I was like, oh, a suburban white boy could be punk rock, and I did like the music.
Yeah.
You know. Then I went to college and I stopped like being so punk, and then I like got more into hip hop again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it sounds condescending to say that I had a punk phase, but that
Yeah.
is kind of what happened.
No, people outgrow it, but I'm like, I just like the simple melodies.
Mhm.
Nothing complicated.
You know who I love? Teenage Bottle Rocket.
I'm not. They're not. I don't know much. I like the band that the guy was in before.
The Lillingtons.
So good.
I had this weird interaction with my friend one time because we went to see, I believe we went to see a punk band called The Descendants, but Teenage Bottle Rocket, also a punk band, was opening for them. And it was at the PlayStation Theater in Manhattan. And their drummer died. Not that night, but they're...
Oh yeah. Was it the drummer who died from Teenage Bottle Rocket?
Yes.
I don't know who the members are.
And they're like, there's I think 3 of them are brothers or something like that.
Okay.
So it was one of their brothers or something. And they were like, towards the end of the set, they're like, you know, so-and-so passed away this many years ago and we love him, we miss him. And this song is in his honor. And they played the song.
Yeah.
And afterwards, my buddy and I are like going home and he's like, yeah, I didn't care for that part. And I was like, it was literally 30 seconds. It wasn't like a moment of silence.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, a 21 gun salute. It was just honestly something I would do every once in a while on this podcast if you tragically died.
Yeah. It's interesting that like this thing you can do with as a musician, but not as a comic. Is like you can intro the thing by saying what inspired you to do it. And
Yeah.
as a comic, that'd be great if I could pad out my set. They're like, so this next bit, you know, my friend died, and through the grieving process, I came up with a couple funny quips about it. So here we go.
Yeah.
And then just
5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna start every bit with 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice, dude. I made a crowd of people very annoyed with me the other day.
ooh,
Because, all right, fuck it. I'll just do no pressure to laugh, Ilya. I know under normal circumstances you would.
I'm a big laugher. People know that about me.
But okay. Basically, I was talking with this person. They didn't speak English very well. They spoke Spanish,
Yeah.
right? And I took Spanish in high school, but I don't speak Spanish. I mean, I know a couple of, like a few phrases,
Yeah.
like say siete, right? I did that, and every single person in the audience was mad at me.
What? For what?
There was. I said I know say siete phrases in Spanish. For those just listening, I do this 6, 7 thing with my hands, and yeah,
They didn't
I
like-
thought I thought it would divide the room. No, everyone was upset. I mean, not in a let's cancel him way, but
Yeah.
in a way where he's like, they were like, I guess we would be fine if this guy finished his set now. Yeah.
That must be fun. I don't
Well,
think-
that's the thing. We talked about this before. When you want to go, usually it's when you want to go edgy,
yeah.
right? Where you're like, this is either everyone's gonna be great, or
Yeah.
I might as well just leave right after my set because no one's gonna want to look at me.
Yeah, yeah,
after
yeah.
this, you know.
I ride that line all the time.
Yeah. I had this. I tried this new joke, and fuck it. I'm gonna do my bits on the podcast. Fuck it. And it's about, which is a thing a lot of people experience, right? You're a man walking down the street at night and there's a woman in front of you and she looks nervous because she
Yeah.
doesn't know if you're a crazy
Yeah.
person or, you know, she doesn't know if you're a crazy guy. It's the thing that women have to deal with. That's the thing that the women have to deal with.
Yeah.
And we it's the lesser of two evils for sure, but it's an uncomfortable way to feel.
Yeah.
Right. So I was, talking about that, and I was like, I'm always wearing my AirPods.
Yeah.
So I decided, in an effort to make her feel more comfortable, I go, I'm gonna pretend to talk to my girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
And so she's in front of me. You can see where this is
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, hey, honey, I just wanted to say I love you. And she's, the woman in front of me is like, she gets a little more nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's, I'm so happy to have met you,
Yeah.
all this thing. And then the punchline is, and then I realized I'm not even wearing the AirPods. It's a great bit, right?
Gave it.
I mean, it's not going to be in the Library of Congress, but I got
If
to
you,
that.
if you put it on Twitter, it will.
I'm telling that, and as like the audience is empathizing with the
Yeah,
woman in
yeah.
the joke too much.
Yeah.
They're like, oh wow, you know.
Yeah.
They almost don't know the whole story's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're empathizing too much, and then I get to the punchline, goose egg. And then I went, well, we're having fun.
That's what. Try to trick him into it.
Dude, I was thinking of how you said the other day that it's so unnatural
Yeah.
for us to, as a comedian, you have to be able to say something that makes everyone look at you and go, huh? And feel nothing.
Yeah.
That's a skill you need, but it's also the trait of a sociopath,
Yeah.
you know?
We're just like harder than sociopaths. We're just stealing ourselves every time we're doing it. My safe for if whenever something doesn't work is I'll just like, okay, you guys didn't laugh, but you can at least appreciate what I was trying to do, right? And sometimes that gets loud. It's like, come on, we're all trying to do the same thing here.
The thing is, and feel free to disagree, I think you could say that type of save once or twice.
Yeah, you can't do that very. Yeah, no.
You could maybe do it again as it functions as a callback, but if you do it 3 times, people are like, okay, is that his thing? Is he says jokes that aren't good? And then they go, but hey, it's fun.
Yeah.
I actually do there, and this is mean, but I've met people through doing open mics that they have those savor lines.
Yeah.
But it feels like the only time people are
Yeah.
like, I know this one guy, and he goes, that's okay. I could always kill myself after this, which is a funny thing to say, but I'm like, if you have to say that every time, there might be a
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it kind of gets to know who he is. He'd tell the same joke. The joke would never get a laugh, but every time he tells us, there's awkward silence. He'll be like, "So yeah, I guess that like." He just built into the act was that a thing that didn't work.
You know what drives me crazy, and it's sort of like that, but it's sort of different. Where you'll be at a show, and someone is doing okay,
Yeah,
and none of us want to be doing okay.
yeah,
But sometimes it is what it is. And even as the comic on stage is doing okay, they're almost like berating.
yeah,
And it's like, I get if they really suck, but if everyone's going, huh,
yeah,
then it is what it is.
yeah,
And sometimes I feel like because what we want the reaction to be is more than what they're happy with their reaction being, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like if they're like, if you have that wave of laughter, which is how most stand-up sets go. I mean, we want applause breaks and fucking, oh my God. And then there's a guy that does a spit take.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily need that to be happening.
Yeah, they don't do it.
And there's a type of comedian that they get, and we're all insecure.
Yeah.
But they'll be outwardly insecure about how quote unquote poorly the set is going.
Yeah.
It almost tricks the audience into thinking that the show is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's why no matter how terrible I'm doing, I tell myself I'm doing amazingly.
Yeah.
And everyone's like amazing. And
You can trick people. You can trick people into liking a thing that's bad. You know? That's why so much garbage is like successful. It's like you can trick people.
they say that that's the function of a laugh track.
Yeah.
Is just make people feel it's okay to laugh.
I bring my own laugh track every show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually that would be an amazing bit if you had a tape recorder.
Yeah.
And you were just.
I also bring my own applause sign. That's a little cumbersome, but
Like I saw the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. This is like a decade ago when it was still the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and they did have like a laugh and applaud sign.
oh, was it 2 different signs?
It was the same sign, but it would illuminate
Oh, differently.
differently. Yeah, and the hype man, and he goes,
The warm up.
I want to hear you guys clap.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like, that's so,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then he'd be like, and let's practice laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's almost like
Yeah, it's a god.
laughter is so involuntary that it's almost like saying like, let's practice having an orgasm.
Yeah.
You know? And but I remember there was this one time, and Obama is still president. This is how long ago it was. And Jon Stewart was, and he has the pace of a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, he would say something important and poignant that we should all clap for, right?
Yeah.
The applause line would illuminate for that.
Oh, really?
Like he'd be like, we have to support all our troops, even if they are LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and fuck it, I'll clap for that. But it's weird to be like, you clap for this.
Yeah.
That's almost Listen, this is gonna make me sound like a right-wing lunatic. It almost felt Orwellian,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Applaud for the good thing to applaud for.
Yeah.
You know.
It's weird. Also, because like you built into it's like it's an applause break.
Mhm.
Like when you build in the punchline, okay, yeah, you have a laugh break.
Mhm.
But to be like, and the audience is going to find this poignant here,
Yeah.
and then it's weird, very obnoxious.
Yeah. There are, God bless him, silent lappers sometimes.
Yeah,
Silent
some people don't.
laughers.
Yeah, some people. A lot of times people are just like quiet into themselves, but and then you talk to them like, oh, I had a great time. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you need to learn to exude that fit like outwardly.
You have to wonder if that person is like on a first date and
Yeah.
their date makes a joke and they go,
Yeah.
just stoically shaking their head.
oh,
And at the end of the night, they're like, I would like to see you again.
yeah.
That's how narcissistic I am.
Yeah.
I think of every audience member as being on a date with me. And they're mad because I lied about my height. Yeah. What are you going to do?
That sucks. I hate that. To be fair, it's the fault of the host is to always bring up as this next guy's 5'8", and it's just like, come on, dude.
Yeah. That's I remember one time I was hosting a comedy show and I forget his name. I know he opens for John Marcos Ceresi sometimes. He's a hilarious comedian and he has what's called Marfan syndrome. And Marfan syndrome, I think it's a genetic disorder, like you're born with it. And something happens with like your limbs.
Mhm.
So most people with Marfan syndrome are like very tall. They think Abraham Lincoln
Yeah.
had it. They think maybe Osama bin Laden might have had it. So
Okay.
in addition to both being
Our
great
two
leaders,
greatest politicians.
yeah. But anyway, he's 7 feet tall, which is tall, right? And
This comic's 7 feet tall?
yeah,
I have no idea. I can't think of him.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And if he's
Okay.
you would and I wouldn't not say this to his face. You would clock two things: one, that he's tall, and two, that he has some sort of like that he has. If you don't know what Marfan syndrome is, you'd be like,
Yeah.
well, it's something,
Yeah.
right? And some things you have to address.
Yeah.
Like I'm on stage within minute 2 or 3, I do have to say Mark Zuckerberg in some context so that everyone calms down. And they're like, okay, he knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he goes up there and he goes 7 feet and everybody just starts
That's
laughing.
hilarious.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
And he's about to bring, I'm hosting the show. And he goes, this is my opener.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's good. And he goes, okay, thank you. I'm saying this because you're going to have an impulse.
Yeah.
No matter what size the host is, every host wants to call back to that moment by saying how tall they are.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Okay.
And I trusted him. He's like, it's never worked. It's literally never worked. Don't do it.
Okay.
You know? So I didn't do it. I really appreciated that. You know why? Because as he was telling me what his opener was,
Yeah.
I was like, I know what I'm going to say when I bring it back up. And then I felt like such a fucking hack.
But it would have gone. He says it doesn't work, but that's not true. It definitely works.
This is what he says. It's never
If you went
worked.
back out there and was like 5'3", whatever, like,
Yeah. Mhm.
that would absolutely get a laugh. I think he was just like tired of hearing it, which is fair.
That would be no. Okay. I have to disagree because that would be so selfish of him. For him to dictate what I could say when he's already off stage.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but I guess I wouldn't put that narcissism behind any comedian. What is a pet peeve of mine is when someone makes a joke while they're bringing me up.
Oh yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually bad etiquette.
Yeah. It's a bad host, bad form.
Yeah. I think the most cringe thing I've ever done as a stand-up comedy host is I was hosting, I think I was a year or two into comedy. And I was doing a show at a black box theater, like kind of like UCB, but a different.
Yeah.
It was the Pit,
The Pit.
right? Pit's like UCB. I assume most people listening know what UCB is. So it has that kind of audience,
Yeah.
right? Like the young, inclusive,
Yeah.
improv-y type of. And I'm hosting, and for whatever reason, I don't remember the logistics of this, but whoever booked me on the show wasn't there. And he put me in a group chat with everybody that was there.
Okay.
And he was like, the first comedian is Michelle. Michelle is not there yet, but Michelle will be there by the time you finish your set. So just do your set, bring up Michelle. And I've never met Michelle before, but I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And little bit inside baseball, folks. No matter if I like the person I'm bringing up, I hate them, or I've never met them. For the sake of the show, I always say, you guys are going to love this next comedian, he or she, or they're so funny. Yeah. You're going to laugh your ass off. So I'm doing this. I'm like, Michelle, she's the greatest. You're going to love her. Yeah. Performs all over the country. Yeah. Please. And as I'm saying, as I'm hyping Michelle up, this hilarious woman, this black man is walking towards me. And I'm like, God damn it. And I didn't have time to fix it. And I was like, fuck it. I was like, welcome to the stage, Michelle, whoever. And he comes up, Haitian guy. Yeah. Has a French name, Michelle. Yep. Luckily, you're not going to believe this. He has an opening bit about how he's a guy named Michelle. Yeah. So it ended up not mattering at all. Yeah. And he couldn't have been nicer. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's not that I don't know if you could call that misgendering. It's not that. Because you see Michelle, you think it's going to be a woman. Yeah. Is that for the rest of the show, the audience is like, this asshole says everyone is hilarious and he loves them. And he doesn't even know who they are.
This guy's lying to us.
And
I bet he didn't have earphones. I mean, earbuds.
He didn't have AirPods. I bet he didn't even have something happen to him on the way over here. Yeah.
That's what's great about Louis is like undermining that convention, being like, so this thing happened. It's like, oh, this thing happened right before I wrote this joke. Yeah. It's like, okay. It's so funny.
He's one of those guys that can.
He's one of those guys.
We saw Louis. That was great.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Every time I've seen Louis, by the way, obviously I go with a friend who is usually also a comedian, but I always see another comedian.
Yeah.
It always happens.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a big theater, but.
Well, there's a lot of comics in the city. You run into them. Too many. We got to get rid of them. We got to start culling the herd.
Dude, I know like now the way to network is to like follow each other on Instagram, but it used to be like be friends with each other on Facebook. Yeah. And when you friend somebody on Facebook or someone friend requests you see how many mutual friends you have. Yeah. And this, for whatever reason, this depressed me to no end. Someone, this is years ago when people were still using Facebook. They sent me a friend request and our mutual friends were in the thousands.
Oh, wow.
It was 1,000, et cetera. Yeah. And I was like, wow, there's over 1,000 of us.
Yeah.
That are like, now think who has ever done, how many people currently alive have ever done one open mic? It's probably millions. But I'm like, oh, wow, there's probably, in New York City, there's probably thousands of them.
Yeah.
More people do comedy in New York City than died in 9/11. And I wish it was the other way around.
Wish they just took out all the mics on 9/11. The planes crashed into the grizzly pair. It's a grizzly scene over here at the pair. Thankfully, the Comedy Cellar was spared. That's a very fun joke for people who know McDougal Street.
Yeah, it's very inside baseball. Now, I always think, like, the fourth plane that ended up crashing in that field in Pennsylvania on 9/11? They think that, like, I don't know how they determined this, but the most likely was the Capitol.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of fucking Trump voters, like, tried again some years later. Yeah. Isn't that nice? Kind of full circle.
That's carried out their mission. It's like, let's bridge the Capitol. That's nice. I like that.
I always think, and listen, folks, are we going to get all political? I don't know. But one of my favorite clips from January 6th, right? And it's like, well, how do you pick a favorite? Yeah. There's a woman and she's crying. Yeah. And you could tell by her, like, garb, she's like one of the riders.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a journalist. And he's going, what happened? And she goes, I got pepper sprayed. So it's like, okay, it's some combination of like, obviously she's emotional, but also like her eyes are irritated. Right? Yeah. But you could tell she's upset.
Yeah.
And she goes, I got pepper sprayed. And they go, why? And they go, why? And she goes, for storming the Capitol. And the guy, God bless this guy. I don't know why I say God bless. I don't believe in God, but it's a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
He goes, well, why were you trying to storm the Capitol? And she's crying and she goes, we're going to stop the election. It's a revolution. And I'm like, that was what was so weird about that day is you had people being like, I'm going to storm a government building because I'm part of a revolution.
Yeah.
And then they get pepper sprayed and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That happened during the French Revolution. Like they stormed the Bastille. And people were like, we just want to get rid of the king.
They're like, well, we're trying to hang Marie Antoinette, but I don't see why you guys have to be mean.
Yeah.
That story might be apocryphal, where she steps on Marie Antoinette. She steps on the executioner's foot, and she says, "Pardon me, sir. It was an accident."
Yeah,
And I think that's bullshit because there's no way she was speaking English, right?
that's true.
But yeah, apparently that's the last thing she said.
Okay. That's very polite of her.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with like people's last words because they're either very profound or it's like, oh, huh. I guess that's something they would have said at any moment in their life.
Who's got your favorite last words?
John Wayne Gacy said, "Kiss my ass,"
Yeah.
which is
He's
like,
very unrepentant.
I know, dude. I mean, those type of guys, serial killers, mass murderers, terrorists, whatever, they either go like, yeah, fuck you, or it's something like, if you took those last words out of context, you'd be like, wow, what a beautiful human.
What about a gay porn star named John Wayne Gaysex?
Okay. You know he's fucking twinks that are barely legal.
Yeah.
Is
that's the
he
only
dressed
problem.
like a clown?
No. That's the only problem is John Wayne did commit homosexual rape. So it's not a great
Yeah.
it's not a great alter nickname for yourself.
It could be consensual non-consent.
Yeah.
Here we are again, folks.
I learned that from Omri. I didn't know about that.
He said the acronym, which I was like, this motherfucker watches
Yeah,
that.
it's like when they talk about like Jews are perverts. Like, yeah, you're not helping the case, but he is a creep.
That's actually, you know, that AC/DC song TNT?
Yeah.
It was originally CNC. She's saying no. CNC.
I heard CNB. I had another friend explain what CNB was.
There's like, listen.
Or CBT. No,
And
CBT.
guys, I know you're all curious. What do I jack off to? When it's a little rough, I like it. But when she's like, I'm going to die. It's like, are you okay, dude? Why are you
How are you speaking if you can't breathe? Dumb bitch. This is the worst misogynist ever. Yelling at porn thumbnails.
You hate women so much that even during the beating women porn, you're like, this could. She's
probably faking it. They probably talked about this before.
There is, and I will say this is like, it's cringe, but it's like necessarily cringe.
Yeah.
Where if you watch like any sort of rough sex porn, there's this thing that some companies do where usually at the end, sometimes even at the beginning, the woman is going, yeah, I was choked and slapped and spit on, but I agree to it. And I like it.
Yeah, the post interview.
Yeah, like at the end of a UFC fight.
Yeah. That's what it should be like. Sideline report.
Yeah. Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's like, you got knocked out in the third round. How did that feel? You're like, well, I respect the other fighter a lot, and I've been training a lot for this day. But I do, like, even though that's like cringe, there is a 13-year-old boy that needs his hand held through that whole, like, you have to ask before you do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But you think that's helping 13-year-old boys understand?
It might.
Consent?
It might, because I think there are.
It's like when at the end of a Jackie Chan movie, like oh, that's how they did that. He just did it a bunch of times. Just bloopers. That's how you
should do bloopers. They should do bloopers and behind the scenes and the behind the actor studio.
Yeah.
They're like, so this was your first
or in
bukkake.
the actors behind, right? That's something. That's fun. That's both cute and dirty.
And there's no way you realize this, but you point at me. This is literally a mannerism you're picking up from me that you hate. You hate when I do it.
No, but no, it's cool when I do it though.
It's
different when I do it.
It's different when you do it. Yeah.
Because I'm like, I do it with tongue in cheek. You're like earnest.
Oh, my earnestness is what you hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I despise vulnerability, sincerity, and earnestness.
Okay.
I think that's
the worst dating profile ever.
I think those are all signs of weakness. I'm looking for a trad wife to bear me 5 children. Don't make eye contact directly without permission.
You know, one time when I was still a man about town, I had a Tinder bio or a Tinder profile, and my bio, just for like a 24-hour experiment, I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Right. So I made the line, or I took a line from an Eminem song, and I put it in my bio, and I erased everything else.
Yeah.
Like all you knew about me was pictures and this one line.
Yeah.
And the line is, "Where all the raunchy, fat, white, trashy blondes be at?"
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like, that. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then like a week went by, and I was like, how come I'm not getting any And then I check,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
You know,
at least you know the experiment works.
because even if you're a raunchy, fat, white, trashy blonde, you're not gonna. That's not the way you.
You're not gonna, it's like no, like Spartacus. Like, I'm a trashy white fat blonde.
The only thing worse than that, and I'm sure Matt Marin, friend of the show, would be okay with me telling this story. He had a Bumble account, right? And this is years ago. And the thing about Bumble that you could do, which is actually kind of cool, is you could link it to your social media.
Okay.
So there's this thing, and I'm explaining this to you because I know you've
I
never
do not
used
use
dating
it.
apps. The bottom of your Bumble account will be like the last few like posts from Instagram.
Okay, yeah, I get
So
you.
it's kind of like, hey, look at I'm active on social media. Fucking Matt goes, I haven't got a match in a while on Bumble, and I'm wondering what it is.
Yeah.
And he has me look at it, which is, I mean, like, asking me is crazy, but I'm looking at it, right? And I go to the bottom and I see that I was like, oh, you linked your Instagram. And one of the most recent posts was that meme of Hulk Hogan kicking
The
down
Twin
the
Towers.
World Trade Center.
And Matt's like scrolling past it. So yeah, I just don't know which one.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Maybe I should have more pictures with friends.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it because Hulk said the N word?
Yeah. Yeah. Sad day though, 9/11.
Oh, I thought you said when he said the N word.
I
That's mine. I know.
I believe the context of Hulk Hogan saying the N-word, he was being recorded when he didn't know he was being recorded. Because he was talking to somebody that I guess he ended up having an adversarial relationship with. And he was basically saying, my daughter can date a black guy if he's not like if he's like has his shit together.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's so funny, like the Overton window.
Yeah.
Because at a different time, Hulk Hogan being like, I say the N-word, but my daughter can date a black guy.
Yeah.
There'd be a
That'd be
time where
pretty-
everyone's like, it's crazy how much of a left-wing lunatic you are.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you can't even say the N-word, huh?
Yeah.
I never say it, right?
But you
Outside of one fender bender, I've never said it.
But you think about it a lot though, right?
I had this weird, I've never said it during a fender bender, you guys. I might
Goddamn fender benders moving in the neighborhood.
Fender bender is just a new
benders.
slur.
I believe in one bender.
I gotta say, by the way, I full disclosure, talking about doing jokes and literally nobody in the audience laughing.
Yeah.
And I was spoiled because one time I did it at an open mic, and I said I never say the N-word outside of one fender bender. I've never said it, which is a funny line.
Yeah.
But I'm a fucking asshole who thinks that a bunch of dudes at an open mic are the same as like nice people at a regular show. So I did that in the middle of my set. Realized my mistake, pivoted to stuff that always works.
Yeah, and wasn't.
Doesn't always work, folks. I was hated for the last 5 minutes. Oh, have you ever been hated or discriminated against? I have. But dude, what were we talking about?
The N-word?
Oh,
Hulk?
fender bender, 9/11. Oh, there's a story about a lady in 9/11 that happened to die on 9/11, and she may or may not have been in the World Trade Center. But there's so many variables that basically she's the cutoff of, because the government like gives you money for having a family member in 9/11. She's like the cutoff. She's like the first person that's like close enough that she doesn't get anything. The family keeps trying.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically she was a woman with mental health issues.
Okay.
And she was missing from work that day.
Yeah.
And the family's argument is she lived like in Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
But not like she couldn't have died from being in her apartment.
Yeah.
But close enough that it's conceivable that she could have spent the morning, like there's like shops and stuff in the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
So they're like, she's missing.
Yeah.
The body's never been found.
Yeah.
She must have been a 9/11 victim. And they were like, she's never worked there. She also has like a history of mental illness. She was going to leave her husband. She was maybe a lesbian. She was like a mentally ill lesbian that was going to leave her husband. In the early aughts, that's just, you know, people are not going to take you serious.
These days, they just shoot them in the car when they think you're running over them. This is my Dennis Miller. Am I right? Guys.
The face you made was so fucking funny.
I did it. I don't know what I
The
did.
fact that you could do that face, you should be in a show where the guy's like a pompous conspiracy theorist. The way you were able to
I'm
do
gonna have to
that
watch
with
it.
your
I don't know what
face.
face I did. I'll have to look at it.
Oh, let me see. Let
me see how
No, it's actually, it was like, think about going into acting because the way you
Yeah.
did that face. Do you think you'd be a good actor? I secretly think
I
would be a
had-
good one.
My brother had a friend. He's like kind of independent filmmaker. And he was producing a horror movie, and he was doing auditions. And he was like, "Hey, why don't you try?" And so I did a couple auditions. And I got through to like, I mean, he knows me,
Right.
but like, I did well doing the auditions. I've never acted before, never taken class, but like, oh, it's kind of intuitive in a certain way, like what you're doing, and it went pretty good as far as horror movie. And then at the end, like I had to do act with, like he got down to 2 guys and 2 girls, and I had to act out with the girls, like doing a scene together, as opposed to, before it was just like line reading, just me and the producer, and then I actually had to act out a scene, and I'm with this girl, and like she's actually like she's an actual actor.
Yeah.
they're all like she's really doing it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just a comedian. I don't know. And I just had to pretend along. But I think in my heart of hearts, I am a good actor.
What was the scene? Do you remember?
It was something about I had to like hyperventilate, and like she was supposed to be like injured or something, and like I'm supposed to be like hyperventilating and panicking or something. I don't know.
Oh, you're both
We're
like
both
victims.
so
in
like,
this.
it's gonna be also it was gonna be like just a couple walking in the woods. Like that was gonna be like the entire setup of the movie. So it was like something like that, and stuff happens. Yeah, and so yeah, in my head I'm like, maybe I could, but that being said, when we did that the Hamas the undercover stuff,
When we were recruiting for Hamas,
when we're doing like that kind of like a hidden camera stuff,
we wanted
I
to
was
trick
like-
college students into saying dumb things, and we were somewhat successful.
Yeah.
But it involved acting.
if we stuck with it, someone would blow our necks off.
I think if I got jihaded,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
How would you like to get jihaded?
Oh, I think, okay.
Cage on fire.
I want to be the target. I don't want to be like, well, he's American. I don't want to be like 9/11. I want to be Charlie Hebdo.
You want to have your own
I want to be like,
dedicated attack.
I want a clip from this podcast where I'm wearing one sock and not the other.
Yeah.
And I say something offensive towards, dare I say, the prophet. And I want a fatwa.
Yeah.
I want a fatwa against me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be Salman Rushdie because his recovery seems uncomfortable.
yeah.
I want to be like immediately shot in the head, but in a moment that gets a Wikipedia page, and then people are like making it seem like my comedy was better than it actually was.
You think Jews and Muslims would get along because they love a prophet? Is that something? Should we hold? Should we end? Should we end 20 minutes early?
You know what's funny about that is Jews also have prophets. Like they have like Elijah and Ezekiel.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything.
Ezekiel probably just straight up was schizophrenic.
Oh yeah.
Well,
What was his deal?
he would do like, there was this one scene. Okay, guys, we're doing the Bible. This is the scene with Ezekiel. Ezekiel, you ready? Oh, you have to go to makeup, Ezekiel. Okay. All non-union, of
Yeah, of
course.
course, naturally.
So,
Day rate.
so Ezekiel, and I'm probably fucking some of this up, but he's one of those Old Testament prophets,
Yeah.
and he's one of those prophets where he was like, God is really mad at you Jews right now.
Yeah.
You're supposed to. God is gonna be mad. Like it's one of those, and so he takes like I guess Jerusalem, and Ezekiel makes a model of Jerusalem, like
Yeah.
a little like a train set, but it's like a little town,
Yeah.
you know, and people like it's really involved. So like people like gather around and
Mhm.
like watch. And then he like finishes and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then he steps on it. Yeah. And starts screaming.
Ah.
And, scholars are like, well, he was telling, once again, Noah's Ark type thing where he's like, guys, this is what God's going to do to Jerusalem if we don't stop with the golden calves or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think if that actually happened, Ezekiel was crazy.
Okay.
Occam's razor, Ezekiel, tremendous mental illness. Well, that's like there's like a theological debate that Jesus is either crazy con artist or God.
Okay.
Like if he's
Yeah.
an historical person,
Yes.
those are the only three options. Now, I think okay, if you're not religious, you take the God part out. So crazy or con artist, you also could be both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a level of like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think one kind of feeds into the other. Like, what if you're crazy enough to think you're God, and then you're like, well, I got to use some marketing
Yeah.
tactics to get my followers, and that's where the con artist part
Yeah.
comes out.
I hate when schizophrenics are like savvy.
Savvy schizophrenics.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one in the White House right now, I think. I do think, listen, the listeners have always described me as having Trump derangement syndrome. And I will say that in addition to him doing things I don't agree with politically, there is like the level of word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is it's charismatic word salad, and it's not homeless guy. It's below like
Yeah.
a public speaking person,
Yeah.
but it's like charismatic enough. And like, the problem is he would be great at improv. And I believe that he just improved his way into the presidency.
Yeah. And that's why improv is bad. That's why we got to get rid of it.
Yes. And I don't know. You know who I feel bad for? Michael Dukakis.
Yeah. What's he been on? Is he dead?
No, he's alive. I looked it up though. Kitty Dukakis, may she rest in peace. She passed away.
Is that his wife?
Yeah, and what was kind of edgy about Michael Dukakis is that his wife was a recovering alcoholic and possibly saw a psychiatrist.
Oh.
So Michael Dukakis had a couple of problems. One, he kind of had the same problem that like, you know, Al Gore, Mitt Romney, Hillary Clinton had, which is they're not fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think that's the main other things, but the main reason why they lost is they weren't fun, and their opponent was fun, for better or for worse, right? But so Dukakis wasn't fun. He also, because he was a Democrat, he tried to prove that he like wasn't a pussy.
Okay.
He's like, listen, I'm a Democrat, but
Yeah.
I'm not a pussy. So he wore like military fatigues and a helmet,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, you look like such a dork right now. And then this is my favorite thing it's the most American thing ever, is that he gave too rational an answer during a debate.
Oh yeah.
Because during they were talking about the death penalty,
Yeah.
and this is at a time where like being against the death penalty
Yeah.
was like edgy,
Yeah.
unpopular.
Yeah.
So they were like, what if your wife was raped and killed? Would you still be against the death penalty? And he was like, I think I would, because it doesn't show any deterrence, and we have, you know, justice is important, but so is being humanitarian. Like a very
reasonable.
But people were like, he should have been like, how dare you talk about my wife that way?
Okay.
And he didn't. So then he didn't get to be president.
That's right. Have you ever acted?
Well, I recruited for Hamas,
Okay.
and I've done.
But you did that in earnest.
Yeah,
why
that wasn't acting. I was speaking.
You're a double agent.
I did like little sketches.
Yeah.
I think I think I could do supporting roles.
Okay.
I don't know. Actors, if they're listening, are probably screaming, because I feel like comedians sort of have this condescending thing where they're like, we're like, we could do what you do, but you can't do what we do.
But that is true. It's like it's objectively like
Yeah.
not that big a deal.
I think I would be better than an average person pulled off the street,
Yeah.
because there's a level of performance.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a comfort to the content of performance that you have, but yeah.
You know what would fuck me up though is like knowing, and I have felt this way doing sketch stuff, and I have felt this way when I started doing podcasting, because I started performing as being a comedian in front of people. So not getting that instant feedback
that
is jarring.
It's you feel kind of vulnerable and insecure.
I heard, and I don't know if this is true because it's just something I heard, is that Daniel Day-Lewis has a hard time, and now he's retired, but he would struggle like giving acceptance speeches because he was afraid of public speaking, the way a lot of people are.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that about an actor.
Yeah.
An actor, it's like, well, the people that are on set, like, I guess the idea that millions of people will watch it later doesn't make him nervous, but the fact that millions of people are watching instantaneously does.
He just needs someone to write the character of Daniel Day-Lewis accepting an award.
And I guess
getting permission.
unless you're theater, if you're doing a movie, you could always go, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Whereas like live, you can't.
I would do that live. I fuck up a line and be like, let's do this again, guys. And they're like, we can't do that. That's not how this works. You're supposed to go on with the line.
You know what I was thinking of? If I ever accepted an award, which will never happen, but if I ever do, you know how they play you off if your speech is too long? Like they start playing the music. Just see what happens if you keep going and like start talking louder as the music is louder.
Yeah.
And then just like see how many security guards have to take you away. But don't be mad. Don't be like one of the not like, oh, I'm talking about the Iraq war and I'm being silenced. But just me, you know how I'm a yapper.
Yeah.
Like I'm just continuously yapping. And then someone is like, hey, can you? And I'm like, oh yeah, just one second. And then also well, there's this one restaurant I like to go to. I would love that to be dragged off.
Yeah. It would be fun to win an award for something.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time. I think the last time I won an award was like a middle school superlative.
Ooh, what was your superlative?
Oh, actually, I remember.
Yeah.
It was
Best
full
memory.
circle when I was in Australia. Yeah. So I went to Australia when I was, I don't know, a preteen,
Oh yeah.
11 or 12, which is young to go.
Yeah.
So I for shorthand, I always say it was a school trip, but it was actually a program that the government subsidizes called People to People.
Okay.
People to People. And it was invented by Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Okay.
As a president, he like made this thing. And his reasoning was in the aftermath of World War II, wouldn't it be nice if, young people before they've like developed their prejudices and stuff met each other and talked to each other and experienced each other's cultures. So that's kind of cool. Except the only places you could really go like are other Anglosphere countries or like places where like, oh, you could go to Japan. It's like, well, we're not going to go to war with Japan. We're not going to go to war with Australia. We're not going to go to war with France. Really, you should be sending the preteens to Iraq and Pakistan,
Yeah, you can't send young boys to the Middle East.
Yeah. You know what was tragic to me? Because I came of age during the the invasion and occupation of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Is when I found out that there were people in Afghanistan that would have sex with little boys.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, good thing we're like, toppling that regime and getting rid of them.
Yeah.
And then I learned that the guys fucking the little boys are on our team. Say what you want about the Taliban. They're Islamic fundamentalists.
Yeah.
They are wrong about a lot of stuff. I'm very brave for saying this, but they are apparently the ones against the kid fucking.
Yeah.
So
was that the deal breaker between the parties? Is that the straw that broke the camel's back?
I do think like the culture of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And listen, I know people from Afghanistan that are regular, but I think there's a lot of religious fundamentalists there, and it could be so fucked up that like there's a guy that's like, you have to hit your wife if she ever shows her face.
Yeah.
And there's another guy that's like, no, man, be nice to your wife.
Yeah.
Besides, we got to have sex with teenage boys instead.
Yeah.
And then you're like the third minority where you're like, you're like the guy that votes Green Party.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what if there's a third way? And they're like, shut up.
The Ralph Nader of Islam. Michael Dukakis of Islam.
Fuck, where was I going with? So anyway, that's how I ended up in Australia as an 11 or 12-year-old boy.
Okay.
And I won an award for being always optimistic. We had like little superlatives, and one was like, most creative, best. I can't even think of a second option. And then I remember because I was talking to one of the teachers, and they're like, oh, we have to take that flight back, and it's so long. I was like, yeah, but we already have experience with it. I was such an optimistic little boy, which got beaten out of me as I got older and older. You know what I mean? So that was a thing I was rewarded with as a preteen. They were like, he's always seen the glass half empty. Which I think now they were like, he's not particularly smart or handsome, so we got to compliment him for something.
Like, what's he good at?
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's too dumb to be sad. So
Yeah.
maybe that.
There is I think like the dumber you are, the happier you are. Although I think I think of Brendan Dassey a lot. Do you remember
Yeah,
Brendan
of
Dassey?
course.
It's for people that haven't watched Making a Murderer, he's the alleged, I guess I don't have to say alleged. He's convicted.
What? Yeah.
He was they say that the guy who killed that woman in the documentary, Brendan Dassey was like a teenager that helped, right? And so he was convicted. But then later, like on appeal, they were basically like, he's so fucking stupid. And they did like the kind of like teetering on the edge of legality, like confession thing. Like if you watch, they were like, and then you did this, right? And he's like, yeah. And there's this moment where he's like, he's confessing to being an accessory to murder.
Yeah.
And he goes, am I going to be back in time to see WrestleMania? Yeah. And they're like, ah. And so his attorney, they can't get him to take an IQ test where he gets less than 70.
Yeah.
But it's so close
Yeah.
that they're like, he's disabled enough to get tricked into confessing to a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that must suck to be like, I guess you can say borderline retarded, right? If your IQ is like low 70s, where you're like, my life is really hard due to like the way my brain works, but also the government will not give me money.
Yeah.
You know, it's the worst of both worlds.
There's also a fine balance of like, how self-aware are you of your own stupidity?
Yeah.
Because there's like ignorance is bliss part of it. It's like, you can be stupid enough. You can be not stupid enough that it affects you, but stupid enough to be stupid, but aware enough of how difficult it is because you don't know things.
Mm-hmm.
And that must be a fun purgatory for people.
Yeah.
The self-aware dumb.
Mm-hmm. Self-aware dumb. Yeah. There is that whole thing of like the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Where like smart people think they're dumb and dumb people think they're smart. You know, I'm like,
you ever hear of the Freddy Krueger effect?
What is it?
You just kill people. I didn't have anything for that. It's just the same last name.
Have you watched The Nightmare on Elm Street recently?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I've
seen all of them.
It's wild to me that I watched the first one as a little boy, which by the way, I shouldn't have been watching it. My parents wouldn't have.
I shouldn't have been a little boy.
I shouldn't have been a little boy.
I was always supposed to be a girl. Anyway.
Dude, if I came out as trans now,
God.
A few minutes left.
You wouldn't even have to change much about any aspect of your life.
I'm already a Bushwick queer, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
And Martha might still be on board, so
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how open minded she is when you put your money where your mouth is.
That really is testing the death till we part thing, where they're like, hey, I'm gonna change genders. Yeah. Unless like if your partner's queer, bisexual, pansexual, whatever, then it's like, well, there's nothing actually. Oh, that's a fucked up scenario. What? Okay. Because, imagine two couples and they're both very liberal, right? The first is a heterosexual couple. And the guy goes, I'm actually trans. And the woman goes, I love you and I accept you, but I'm a heterosexual woman, of course, so we're going to have an amicable divorce. Yeah. Now, a heterosexual couple, right? And there's a guy and a woman, and she is bisexual or pansexual or queer, or whatever she wants. She fucks men and women, right? Yeah. And then this liberal couple, the liberal guy goes, I figured something out about myself. I'm trans. Now she's like, she can't go. She has to be, well, like, that's fine. Because there has to be, me as a heterosexual person, I could say, like, listen, I'm not transphobic, but if you're a trans woman, that's kind of, I can't do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not all heterosexual men feel that way. Some people would say that's transphobic. I don't think it is.
This is like something if they were to write Seinfeld today. This would be a plot point. It's like, she's trans, Jerry.
I think Seinfeld today, but if it ended in major cities burning. We think we're making Seinfeld today, but it's a different world than Seinfeld.
No.
But I think the funny episode of Seinfeld when they have like where George is having that gay panic. Yeah. Where he's like, I got a massage and I got an erection and then it moved. Yeah. He's like, I think I might be gay, not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. The fact that they were saying not that there's anything wrong with that is kind of crazy given the fact that it was, I don't know, the late 90s, early aughts?
No, early 90s? Early in the mid 90s probably for that. Probably early 90s.
Weren't like I watched The Departed, and I get that The Departed is like everyone in that movie is a scumbag. Yeah. But they say, the word faggot. Yeah. all the time.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like if they made the movie again, not saying that they would have to do it this way, because again, the characters are scumbags, but they wouldn't have it that many times.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? So the fact that in the 90s they were going, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know. Weren't like 75% of people against gay marriage during Seinfeld? You know?
Probably something.
But
like
they're New York Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're liberal, secular.
yeah.
Which I think is great.
New York's its own little bubble.
New York or anywhere, I say. I want to get a shirt that says New York or several other places. I'm not that picky. You know?
That's a good. That's another good merch.
Mhm.
That and I'm too sad to jerk.
I'm too sad to jerk
Yeah.
off. We should just name this Too Sad to Jerk Off Part 2.
Part 2.
So, Ilya, do you have
Even
anything
two.
to say to the fans before we depart?
Oh man, I suppose just like spend more time thinking about what you want out of life. Find something that you're passionate about, and just ask yourself when you're doing something: is this something I want to keep doing, or does my heart belong somewhere else? And then something about trans people.
Good night, folks.